Going to talk about South Carolina quarterback LaNorris Sellers, talk about keys for success against Illinois, but more along the lines of what we want to see from Sellers against Illinois. In this bowl game, we got four kind of keys, four things that we want to see, at least that I want to see, and then we'll have maybe 5 or 6 clips of film demonstrating these 4 keys that we'll watch here in 2 or 3 minutes. So real quick, we'll talk about Illinois, then talk about Sellers, and dive into the film. So with the portal being crazy, as of a few days ago when I checked, Illinois had double-digit teammates or double-digit players in the transfer portal. So it's hard to put a bunch of stock, like if you're trying to break down a defense to say what the defense is going to throw at you, it's kind of hard to put a bunch of stock in that just because so many players are in the portal. You got NFL opt-outs. I'm sure we'll have more people opting out in the portal this week before the game actually comes around. But they're a middle-of-the-pack Big Ten in most categories. So with that said, let's talk about Sellers. Let's talk about what we want to see from Sellers, because I think it's more of what we want to see next steps in his development this game than necessarily like breaking down what we want to see him do against a specific defense. So Sellers had 2,274 yards passing this year, 8.6 yards per attempt, 17 passing touchdowns, 7 interceptions. His completion percentage was 64.9. 655 yards on the ground and 7 touchdowns on the ground. He had 11 passing touchdowns against the AP top 25. So against big-time opponents, whether it's Texas A&M or even LSU, he really showed up. Even though they lost LSU, he had a great first half and, of course, finished the year strong against Clemson and so forth. So with that said, what are the keys, or what do I just want to see from Sellers against Illinois? Well, key number one, I want to see him be good at whatever the defense throws at him, whether that's the blitz or whether they drop 7 or 8. If you've watched the channel before, you know that we've highlighted how good Sellers has been against the blitz this year. Against the blitz this year, 10 of his 17 passing touchdowns comes against the blitz. Only 2 interceptions against the blitz. 65% completion percentage against the blitz. 10.4 yards per attempt. So he's able to really push the ball downfield. And several of these clips we're going to watch is Sellers having success against the blitz. So 38% of his dropbacks teams blitzed him. Now I think they stopped doing that as the year went on, especially after the A&M game when they saw how much success he had against the blitz, not just throwing the ball but on the run. But that was still his strong suit, where that's not the case from a lot of young quarterbacks. A lot of young quarterbacks can struggle against the blitz because their eyes start looking at the D-line. But that's where he really made improvement this year, was when the blitz is coming, his eyes remain downfield. Now, what I want to see him continue to develop on is when the defense doesn't blitz, when the defense drops 7 or 8. He was still fine against that, but that's probably his next step in development. He had 7 touchdowns to 5 interceptions when the defense dropped 7 or 8. His yards per attempt were 7.4. Now, he had plenty of success against those type of defensive schemes when the defense threw at him, but for me, that's the next step in development. So I want to see that whenever Illinois doesn't blitz, whenever they drop 7 or 8 guys in coverage, I want to see success against those type of defensive schemes or defensive plays this or the 31st, whenever the game is. Next key, I want to see continued development without relying on play action. Now, only 27% of his dropbacks were off play action, and he had plenty of success just on straight dropbacks. I think we saw this over time, him getting comfortable in the pocket. Like the first few games when we did Sellers breakdowns, we talked about, getting outside the pocket. That's where he's comfortable. Or as the season went on, man, he was able to drop straight back and rip it. And we're going to see that on these clips we're about to watch, but I still want to see that development. He had 8 touchdowns, 7, actually every interception was on a straight drop back pass, 9 touchdowns, 0 interceptions on play action, and he had a slightly higher yards per attempt on play action. So I want to see continued development in that area. Again, he showed that a lot, but let's just continue to see it against Illinois. And then the last one, or there's 2 more things I want to see. The last next step is pocket awareness in the pocket as it relates to ball security. Not breaking the pocket, not having a big scramble or run, just ball security. And we saw that several times of, even against Clemson. The first drive, they drove down the field, and then you have the fumble on the strip sack. So just pocket awareness as it relates to ball security. And the last thing that I want to see, something that he's special at, you don't need this to beat Illinois, but I just want to see it because, well, I'm not going to lie, I just love seeing these type of plays, is the 1 to 2 big plays where you go off script, where you break a big tackle, like against Vandy, against A&M, against OU. I mean, every team, Clemson, every team he played, he had at least one really big game, one really big play, where the defense pretty much had him in a for sure sack, and he broke the tackle and threw on the run, or broke a tackle and had a big run play himself. So he tends to have at least one of those every game, so I do want to see that. So again, just to recap, I want to see him be good against whatever the defense throws at him, blitzing or dropping 7 or 8. I want him to continue to grow in his development and just a straight drop back pass, so no play action, no getting defenses out of position. Again, I thought he was actually really good at this, especially the second half of the season, but still, that's something I want to continue to see. and then the pocket awareness as it relates to ball security. So I was a little lengthy in this intro. Let's go ahead and dive into the film. We got like 6 or 7 clips that we're going to watch of Sellers, and then we'll wrap this video up. All right, South Carolina fans, if y'all watched the channel before, y'all know we're using broadcast footage, so I do apologize. I have to slow down the clips. We'll have plenty of Sellers content this offseason. We'll have some all-22. We'll actually be able to like dive into some nitty-gritty film. But for right now, let's just go through these clips with the broadcast footage. So you'll notice most every play we're about to watch is a straight drop-back pass. Again, it's not using play action. Now, he had success off play action, but I still think the continued development is dropping straight back, which he showed the ability to do so. And this is why I'm so excited for Sellers moving forward. So this is against Clemson. This is him having success against the blitz. We'll see Clemson brings 5. Let's see, I'm out of the way. Clemson brings 5 here. We talked about his eyes remain downfield. Watch, pressure comes. Look at his eyes. The whole time his eyes are downfield. There's a nice ball down the middle of the field for a first down, right? So the biggest takeaway here, when we talked about this in the beginning of the video, when the blitz comes, his eyes remain downfield the entire time. So really good job of Sellers here. This is what makes him so special against the blitz. Again, we talked about 10 touchdowns, 2 interceptions against the blitz. Probably one of the best quarterbacks in college football. Passing when the team blitzes against him. Again, 38% of his dropbacks teams blitzed him. All right, next clip that we'll watch. Again, no play action here. It's a straight dropback throw. We're going to see a deep throw here against Mizzou. We'll see Mizzou blitzes again. Let's see. And this is to, I believe, Nick Harbor at the top of the screen. Yeah, this was second quarter. This was before South Carolina had that huge second half. So you see Mizzou blitzes here, and they have like almost like 2 little spies, a delayed blitz, and like you have your spy here. Good job in the pocket. Eyes remain downfield the entire time. That's the big takeaway here. Eyes downfield, and throws a great ball. Puts it on puts it in the breadbasket essentially for Nick Harbor here. That's a great throw. I'm excited to see Harbor and Sellers next year continue their connection together. Next clip that we'll watch is another, again, straight drop back throw, having success. Now, I know I talked about 8 touchdowns, 7 interceptions on these type of throws, but you see the ability, you see his development there. So here's against Vandy. And this is Vandy's only bringing, they have this delayed blitz here, and this is to the tight end, Simon, right? Simon or Simeon? It's been a second, so South Carolina fans, you'll go ahead and correct me if I'm wrong, but this is a really nice throw. Again, dropping straight back, letting it rip, going through your progressions, reading the defense, and letting it rip here. So next clip that we'll watch is Sellers having success when the defense is dropping 7 or 8, these next 2 clips. So even though he had a lot more success against the blitz, he still does fine against this type of defense, but I think it's his next step to get better here. Every quarterback has something to get better at. Long throw, left hash to the right hash to the left side of the field, out so the numbers on a deep out. One of the toughest throws in football. Again, it's not like long from a yardage standpoint, a vertical yardage standpoint, but as far as a long throw goes, that was a long throw, ends up being a first down for LaNorris Sellers. So again, wanting to see, especially if Illinois doesn't blitz very much, you're going to have success against the defense dropping 7 or 8. So I want to see that. I want to see you take care of the football on those type of defenses as well. So again, we got Mizzou. This is the beginning of the game. We got a motion here. And so you're going to see Mizzou. They don't blitz on this play unless I put the wrong video in. So notice no blitz. They only bring 4. Eyes remain downfield. And you take what the defense gives you. Good job there by Sellers. Just take what the defense gives you. And that's why Sellers has such a threat and such a big impact on the game, because of his ability to run. They have that spy that we saw right here, where even though he's not blitzing, it's almost like he's acting as a blitzer because his eyes are on Sellers. This is his main target, not covering someone in the middle of the field. So if Sellers couldn't run, if he wasn't as athletic, this backer's here. So this leaves open a wide open receiver. So good job by Sellers finding the open receiver. I think that's the tight end, actually. I have a few more plays than I thought. I apologize, South Carolina fans. I am going to have a big breakdown of Sellers at the end of the year where we have like all his best plays. So tune in for that. So here's the last clip that we'll watch. This is against Vanderbilt, and I could have put on clips from Oklahoma, clips from A&M, clips from Clemson, but I want to see at least one of these plays just for a simple fact. It's fun to watch, right? Break the tackle, throw the guy off, roll out, and throw a deep ball downfield for a big play. And he has like 1 or 2 of these type of plays every single game, it seems like. Now, you don't need these plays to win, but I still want to see it, right? So again, just to recap the video, I do want to see him do well against the blitz and when they drop 7 or 8. So whatever the defense throws at you, I want you to adapt and do well. And then I want to see continued development, continued progress, and continue to do well when you're dropping straight back, not off play action. I love play action for Sellers. I really do. I think it's huge for his game. I think it's huge for South Carolina. But I just want to see more and more of those type of throws dropping straight back. I think that's what makes him so good and so deadly, where you don't need play action. You can drop straight back without the use of play action to get defenders out of position and throw your guys open. Like these throws we just watched, not to go down into the rabbit hole, he's throwing these guys open. These are next level throws. Okay, so I'll stop geeking out for a second, but South Carolina fans, I want to hear from you. What do you want to see from LaNorris Sellers against Illinois? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. What do you want to see in the offseason? Yeah, because we're hitting the offseason, we put out a lot of Sellers content. We're going to continue to do so. If this is your first time tuning in, we put out a lot of SEC quarterback content. We've been covering Sellers the entire season. So let me know what you want to see in the offseason. We'll have some interviews, some breakdowns, some more quarterback geeky stuff. So let us know what you want to see. We'll keep this chugging. Thanks for following us along. So like, share, subscribe. It helps us grow. We'll see you next time. Peace.